I think anytime you're taking little kids away, some of them are babies, some of them are less than one, they're toddlers, and you're ripping them away from their families, they're literally screaming, please don't take me away, sending them to either strange shelters or families. I think there's really no other word than inhumane. I mean, this is just a gratuitous cruelty. It's just as bad as it can get. I've been doing this work for 25 plus years. It's the worst thing I've seen in those 25 plus years, and that's why I think the medical community has come out so strongly, so unequivocally saying that we are causing permanent damage to these little kids. The American Academy of Pediatrics has come out, doctors from all over the country. There was a letter just signed by 8,000 physicians. You don't need to be a doctor to know how bad this is. But I think what the doctors are telling you is it's not just bad at the moment. This trauma is going to live with these little children for the rest of their lives. The reason it can happen is because they just are dehumanizing this population. And they've so dehumanized it, they're getting away with so much. And I think finally they hit a point where everyone, whether you're liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, has just said enough is enough. We are not in this country going to take away little babies from their parents. And I don't think the administration, frankly, was ready for this kind of national outrage. I mean, it's now the biggest story in the country, and it rightly should be, that in this country, in this day and age, and the things we're hearing are so horrible. The parents are sometimes being told, we're just taking your child for a bath, he'll be right back. And then the child is whisked away the rest, and the mother finds out the child is now in Detroit or Chicago. It's as bad as you can get. We're seeking to have it made a national class action and to get a national preliminary injunction that would do two things. It would reunite the children who have already been separated, and it would stop family separation from going forward. The judge has already issued one ruling 2 weeks ago, a very, very powerful ruling, where he said if the facts alleged in this case are true, this is a brutal, offensive policy that shocks the conscience. We are now waiting for him to rule on whether he's going to treat the case as a national case and issue a national injunction. We expect that decision will come fairly soon. If we don't prevail, we'll appeal. We have been trying to push back against the abuses of Customs and Border Patrol and ICE for a long time. And what's new now is this separation practice, but there's always been abuse going on by ICE and CBP. And one of the reasons I think is because it's sort of sight, out of mind. It's just, there's not a lot of transparency. Things go on at the border. People don't know about it. They think, well, that's not happening here. But it's been bad for a while. It's just heard more news that in a detention center in Ursula, the little kids are basically fending for themselves, changing each other's diapers. It's horrendous. For them to say we can't end it on our own is flatly untrue. They're just simply using these children, literally using them as negotiating tools. That should not be happening in the United States. We think the family separation practice is absolutely unconstitutional, but we're hoping to establish that legal principle in this case, and that's generally what we do, is try to establish legal principles, but it requires us to bring lawsuits and have those principles established. United, I think eventually most of them will get reunited, but probably not before they suffer permanent trauma. And if we win our lawsuit, we're hoping that the judge orders them to be promptly reunited. I don't think we're ever going to undo the damage that's been done to them, but we have organized a large coalition of major law firms in this country to go down to the border now to meet with the parents, because we just can't do it anymore. We don't have the resources to try and help them find out where their children are. We'll see what happens, but this is just an ongoing crisis. I think this is one of those issues where making your voice heard can actually matter. I think the administration has been surprised and taken off guard by how much the public has been outraged by this. I think we just need to keep up the momentum.